All right, so
still.
we're going to go from this unbelievable Met win, and we promise we're going to get to your phone calls and get back to it as well. But the Yankees have some decisions to make. Aaron Boone is walking to the podium right now. We want to listen in to a little of what he has to say about the Yankee roster decisions. Here's the Yankee manager. Their game one is tomorrow.
All right, we'll get started with Aaron. Josh and Sammy have the microphones. Yeah, just want to raise your hand. Who's got the first question? We'll start with Bruce up front, Josh.
Hey, Aaron, how equipped, how ready is your ball club in your mind?
Ready. Had a long week of work. You guys have been focused. We'll have another workout today, obviously, here in a little bit. But I know the guys are chomping at the bit to get going. It's been a long road to get here, and, now we get to go compete for a championship, and that's what we set out to do.
Do you think about the term long playoff run, or you just start with this series and go from here?
Yeah, I mean, the here and now. We got the Kansas City Royals in here coming off a really strong series, playing with confidence. Our focus is on, Michael Wacha in game one, and that's you got to stay present, certainly, especially in the postseason.
Up front on your left, Aaron. Brian.
Aaron, you said yesterday you were going to let left field marinate a little bit. How's the marinating going?
Good. I know, but I haven't talked to all the people yet, so I'm not going to reveal anything right now.
Do you have a lineup in your mind for tomorrow? And
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Second row on your right, Justin.
Have you guys arrived on a decision with Anthony Rizzo?
We have not. He's going to test it some more today. Again, still feel like it's a long shot, but we'll see what we have today. But today's kind of that day of really finding out.
Have you decided on whether you'll carry 11 or 12 pitchers?
Just about, but still want to finalize that over the next few hours.
Up front on your left, Chris.
Austin struggled in September, didn't have many results. Are you still committed to him batting fourth in your lineup?
Yes.
And why is that?
I just feel like within those, a little bit of bump, I feel like we're seeing a real mature hitter. It's one at bat, but I go back to that at bat that we clinched in against Perez, where to me it was the at bat of that game that set us up, and it's just feel like he swung the bats well through this week. I feel like the week off probably served him well. Feel like he's had good live at bats this week, but I have a lot of confidence in the presence he brings there.
And one row behind, Ian.
Aaron, just with the uncertainty you had with Garrett earlier in the season, how kind of comforting is it to have him healthy going into the playoffs, and how do you think he's throwing? Right?
Yeah, I feel like he's throwing the ball really well, so there's no one else we'd want to hand the ball to. He's battle-tested. He's pitched in a ton of big games in his career, obviously. He's our ace. He's been through a lot this year, and working his way back from injury really for the first time in his career. And he's worked his tail off to get to a point, and it's been a process the whole way. But I feel like over the last really 6-8 weeks, man, he's throwing the ball really well. And we have a lot of confidence when we take the field behind him.
And Peter, I think right next to you.
My question was about Garrett as well, but I'll ask you more specifically. Just, do you feel like he's returned kind of that Cy Young form, as the season's gone on?
Yeah, I feel like he looks like Garrett Cole, like an ace. He's got a lot of ways to beat you, a lot of ways to get you out. I feel like he's got a handle on his arsenal right now, and a pretty good command of the entire arsenal too. And excited to see him go do his thing tomorrow.
Anthony?
Aaron, the Pete Alonso home run last night, you have some familiarity with a moment like that in the playoffs. What went through your mind the minute you know the ball was out, and what was that trip around the bases like?
Yours. Me personally? Yeah. I don't remember it very well, honestly. Like, it's one of those, I tell people this all the time, like, you have those moments in your life that you can remember, like, recall it, picture yourself there. It's very foggy for me. I knew it was gone. I was just making sure initially it was fair, and then I knew it was going to be fair. So turned into a pretty good night.
Gary, right in front of you, Anthony.
Did Jake come away okay from throwing yesterday? And is he still on track to pitch for you guys in the series?
Yeah. So he threw in the sim game. Stuff was really good. So again, want to make sure he gets through his catch play and everything today. But early in talking to him a few hours ago, felt like everything was going to be good, but want to get through that part too.
Gotcha. And you said also you're still deliberating on how many pitchers close to finalizing. Do you expect Marcus to be part of that, or are you still unsure on that?
We'll make that call here in the next few hours.
Against the wall on your right, Joel.
Aaron, do you feel the team's any different as far as you got to make a decision at left, you got to make a decision at first, you don't have a set closer, maybe you'll pinch run a little more, that it's a different kind of team that you're taking in the playoffs maybe than your other one, where you have to kind of do a little more?
Maybe a little bit. I mean, every year's different. I do feel like we're a little more whole than we've been in some years going into the playoffs. Obviously, Riz getting hurt, was a blow down the stretch there for us, and Nestor not being there, and DJ now being out for a few weeks. But I also feel like we got a lot back over the last month that hopefully serves us well, and that we have more options going into a series that, can play a factor or play a role.
Go to Greg in the second row on your right.
Did everybody come through the last 2 days of workouts healthy?
Yeah. Just making sure Cousins plays catch and all good. Yeah.
And just with Judge, how much do you sense his playoff runs have kind of eaten at him, just not ending how he wants them to over the years?
Look, I think Judgy, first and foremost, just like all of us has been through this a lot now, we want to win a championship, and that's where the focus is. So I know that's where his focus is, and feel like he's in a really good spot right now. And yeah, I mean, it's not about individual stuff at all. This is about us going out and doing things to try and win baseball games and compete for a championship.
We'll go Ron up front.
What was the bullpen sim game schedule for Clark and Hill the last few days? And did you do it thinking that either or both could be available out of the pen in one or two and then line up?
Yeah, they didn't throw in those because they threw at the back end of the week of the regular season. So they've thrown bullpens. Yeah.
Well, you could have used them in the sim game for an inning just to simulate.
Yeah, but we're more their days more lined up on bullpen days to have them ready, going in early in the series.
So are they both options out of the pen?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think Dan has a question 4 rows back on the right. And then Bob.
What are your expectations for Soto? He's about to become a huge free agent. Now, you've only guaranteed him this year. Just, the playoffs are here, and you've seen him for a whole season now. What do you think this is going to be like for him?
I mean, I'm not thinking of the free agency part of it. I don't think he is. I think he's loving being here and being part of this team and knowing what's at stake and what he has an opportunity to do. He's been in playoff baseball before. He's won a championship before, so he obviously knows what it takes. And I think that's where his mind is. Talk about being present. I think he's very present with where he is, and obviously he's coming off an amazing regular season, and obviously a guy we count on heavily in our lineup. But I think he's in a great place. I don't think he ever gets ahead of himself like that. I think that'll be for that when that time comes, they'll handle that. But right now, I think he's completely focused on going out there and performing on a big stage in the playoffs.
Go to Bob, then Brendan.
Aaron, excuse me. Aaron, you've managed the Yankees team that almost got to the World Series, and you've also managed a Yankee team that didn't get to the playoffs. What's your intuition about this year's team? Where does it fall within that spectrum?
I think we have a chance to win it all. Mm-hmm. But I think everyone that's still going probably feels that same way, rightfully so. Again, I feel like in a lot of ways we're in a better position going into the postseason this year with some of the things that have kind of come together at the end. But I've been, anytime we've gone into the postseason, I felt really good about our chances and no different now. Last year was, we weren't as good as, not close to as good as what we are now. That's the reality. So I'm excited to see us take our shot, and I know our guys are all ready to roll.
Brendan.
Back on Soto, you've had him for a full season. Just what's that been like?
It's been awesome. I mean, obviously getting to see what him and Aaron have done together. We talk about the historic nature of the seasons they've thrown up. But I've really enjoyed the person, really since, one of those memories I can remember when I first called him. In the off season, it was in the evening in my hallway, upstairs off my bedroom, and talked to him for the first time. And then just seeing him come into spring training and just immediately get integrated in our room. I grew an appreciation for his love of the game that you can tell he has. And obviously, he's just been a really good teammate and person in our room. Obviously he obviously came in here with a ton of attention and all the attention that goes with him being a free agent at the end of the year. And you've never felt that. It's been about being part of this team, and he's fit in perfectly. And it's been a lot of fun to get to know him and to see how much he cares about his craft.
And you said you think he's really loving being here.
Yeah.
What gives you that that observation?
I don't know. I interact with him every day on some level, and to me, it seems like he's enjoyed his time here. So I'd probably enjoy my time too if I walked out with that skill set every day. So, but to see how watching him interact with his teammates and just watch his ease with which he moves through the room, and in my view, the comfortability he has in our room, that's what tells me that.
Do two last ones. Gary up front on your left.
If Rizzo can't play in this series, what kind of impact could he still have, considering, one, you guys have some first basemen who are still newish in the position, and two, that he is a guy with championship experience?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, that's one of the things Anthony brings to the table from an intangible standpoint anyway. And so, yeah, there's always those things that you can bring to the table, and certainly with some of the inexperience we have at first base with some guys. So he's already, been out there working with guys and talking through situations. And if he can't go, that'll be the case moving through this series.
The second row on your right, and then we'll do Ian as the last one.
Aaron, your former bench coach, Carlos Mendoza, what have you thought about his run and him leading his squad to the postseason in his first year as a Mets manager?
Yeah, I think he's done great, and not surprisingly. He's just such a quality person, worn a lot of hats in the game for being a young man. He's played through the minor leagues, coordinator, manager, coach, my bench coach. Just you get to be around him and you understand what a quality person he is and what a great baseball person he is and what a great baseball mind he has. For him to, be leading that team, especially with all they went through the first 2 months, it got off to a pretty crappy start. And not surprisingly, he was steady at the helm. And it's been fun to watch him, do his thing. But I'm not surprised. And we communicate a lot. I texted him after the game last night. So, yeah, I'm excited for him.
We'll finish up with Ian, second row, your left.
What's the biggest challenge you have facing a Bobby Witt Jr., especially in a playoff series?
Just the complete player that he is. Obviously plays a premium position at a high level at short. His speed is, maybe second to none, maybe. I think he's as fast as there is, which shows up on the base paths. He's obviously got great bat to ball, on base, hit for average, and then he's got thump in there too. So he's one of the game's great players. And he's a handful and certainly a guy that has our attention.
All right, Aaron, thanks so much. Appreciate it.